Tendamwari, Hotep, Nangadef, Sawubona, Habari, AKWAABA. Welcome to the first introduction video to Medukation.com YouTube channel. My name is Tafadzwa Shakara Mbandaka, also known as Seba Shakara. For those who may not be aware, Seba is a title as spoken in the ancient Kemetu or ancient Egyptian language, and it simply translates loosely as teacher if we're using English. This again, as I said, is a introduction to Medukation.com YouTube channel. Let me just explain what Medukation is. We are an African Centred Educational Institute. It was founded by myself, and the basic history of it is that basically I was trying to develop on the work of my father. He goes by the name of Brother Leader Mbandaka. He is an African Centred Education consultant and former pupil advocate based in London, UK. And so me, looking to build upon this work, this most important work of African-centered education, started to look at where we needed to build and develop in terms of providing a viable service to our community. And so I identified two primary fields. The first being we needed to develop Afrikan-centred learning aids for our children. So the first aspect of our business and our institute is that we develop learning aids for African-centered learning aids for Black children. You can find some of those learning aids at Medukation.com. Secondly, and ultimately, one of our ultimate aims is to develop formal teacher training in the field of African-centered education. So we're working towards that at the moment, because we kind of felt like it was necessary to develop and widen the parameters and the net of expertise in the field of African-centered education. So that's the work that we're engaged in right about now. My personal experience in African-centered education begins with the fact that I was raised in an African-centered educational institution, which came to be known as the AKWAABA Academy of Excellence. This was a Saturday school, ran every Saturday. And when I became a man, an adult, I began to teach in the AKWAABA Academy of Excellence. We now also have the myriad Academy of Excellence, in which I am a teacher. That goes 5 days a week, full-time school, or homeschoolers group, should I say. And so, all of my adult life, I have been engaged in African-centered education in one way, shape or form, whether it is through those two institutions or outside of that, working in youth centers, youth groups, going into schools and delivering workshops for children using African-centered modalities. I'm also a member of the Best Kept Secret Spoken Word Collective, along with our spoken word theatre productions. We have educational pieces and workshops and courses that go along with our theatrical productions, and so we've facilitated those in various different institutions. And so basically my entire adult life I have been engaged in the field of African-centered education, and so want to share some of my experience, some of my understanding with you all. The subjects that I have become proficient in teaching, first and foremost, English language and communication, or Medunefa, which means beautiful word and beautiful speech, as we refer to it in the AKWAABA Academy of Excellence and the myriad Academy of Excellence. At the same time as I began teaching English language and communications at the AKWAABA Academy of Excellence, I was also teaching performing arts. Currently, I teach media studies and African world history at the myriad Academy of Excellence, along with Sema Kemet Yoga as a physical activity. I'm a qualified Sema Kemet Yoga instructor. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing with this YouTube channel is providing basic 101 basics in terms of what is African-centered education, the basic modalities, frameworks and foundations that you need to develop an understanding of African-centered education. We're also going to be providing lesson plans, lesson tips and suggestions in various different subjects. So I will, deliver workshops, short workshops, bite-sized workshops on the subjects in which I am proficient, and we are also looking to draw on the expertise of other brothers and sisters in the field, for subjects that which I am not expert, kings and queens. So I look forward to particularly to that, bringing other brothers and sisters in the field to deliver their expertise for you all in their respective subject fields. However, we're not just going to stop there, because when it comes to African Centred Education, there is a philosophical, a cultural, and a sociological element that needs also to be illuminated upon. And so when we're looking at African Centred Education, we're changing the paradigm of the education system that we all experienced in the so-called mainstream. So there is a purpose to African Centred Education that needs defining and explaining. There's a philosophical foundation and basis to African Centred Education that we need to solidify and define, and all of this takes place within the context of our culture. And so we need a proper understanding of our culture if we are going to understand African Centred Education. So we're going to be doing workshops on all of those things through this channel. So whilst you're here, we encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Yes, indeed, kings and queens. Subscribe to the channel to keep in touch, yeah, with everything that we're doing. And don't just subscribe, but click that little bell button so that you'll be notified anytime we post up a new video. Every now and then we'll go live as well, so we can interact with you, you know what I'm saying, as a community. Look out for our events. We're going to have events taking place periodically throughout the year, namely and primarily our African Centred Education Market, the ACE Market, where we bring together a number of businesses and entrepreneurs that are in the field of developing and providing African Centred Learning Aids. That event also takes place alongside workshops from practitioners and experts in the field of African Centred Education. Before we go into full-on teacher training courses, we will be doing one-off teacher training workshops as well, which will begin later on this year. So do stay tuned for that. If you want to stay tuned for all those updates, check out our website, Medukation.com, which you can see on the screen right about now, Medukation.com, and join our mailing list. Please join our mailing list if you would like to keep in touch with all our events, that whether it's the ACE Market or the teacher training courses. That's it for now, kings and queens. Do chase tune for more uploads, either from myself, from my father, brother leader Mbandaka, or other experts in African Centred Education. I look forward to sharing and developing and growing on this beautiful journey with you. Tendamwadi, Hotep, Uncle Jasaneb, that's life, prosperity, and health. We'll see you again soon. Peace.